while we wait for other attendees to join, I would like to ask Shruti and Swapnoneel to share a bit details about their industry life and a bit about themselves. So over to you guys.
I guess I'll start. So I think back in 2023, when I had sat for the intern season, the one thing that if I look back and I would advise you all is to spend some time in understanding what kind of companies come in and what kind of roles they have to offer. So there are certain, I think at the end of the second year, you might not have a good understanding of what different roles mean and what different companies have the expertise in. So you could just sit along with your seniors, sit along with alumni, and try to get a better understanding of what each and every company brings in. Even in the FMCG domain, even if you have structured it down that you want to come into the FMCG domain, all the companies that come in will offer you something different, and hence it is very important for you to understand that, and otherwise you won't be able to value them when you sit for the internship interview. Even in the internship, a lot of the expectation will be along those their principles and their values, and hence uh, it is very important. I cannot emphasize on this enough that it's important for you to just really go through what the company wants, what are their major works, and accordingly set in front of them, because they will take pride in what they are in the market. And hence anything that any loose statement about what they are and why you want to join them is definitely a red flag for them. Apart from that, just another small tip from my end before I obviously go into the depths of the internship preparation, is to be very thorough with your um, resume, because that is one thing which is going to be grilled upon n number of times, no matter whom you are sitting in front of. So please prepare your resume very well in advance. Do not wait for the last moment to make corrections, and do not write stuff which you aren't really confident about just for the sake of writing it on the resume. Make sure that you have worked on all of those things, and you are very well prepared of things that you have mentioned. I think that is pretty much about it from my end. I'll be speaking more about the stuff in details in the subsequent slides. I think Shruti can take over from now.
So, hi everyone, good afternoon. Myself, Shruti Bansal. I am chemical engineer 2024 pass out. I did my internship with one of the FMCG company, that is P&G Procter and Gamble, in 2023 as a product supply intern. After my internship, I got a PPO offer and I just joined P&G as a digital operation manager in 2024. And it has been 1 year of me working with P&G, so I can explain you in and out how P&G as a company works and what they're looking for in their candidates. So really excited to share my insights and inputs about P&G internship experience and how you guys can get into P&G going forward in this session.
Thank you so much. That was pretty insightful. Now I would like to move on to today's agenda. So first up, our speakers would be covering what is FMCG. Next, they would be discussing the selection process for the same. Here, they would also be discussing with the help of a sample resume, the importance of various sections and how they impact your candidature. Next up, they would be discussing how to actually prepare for the process. Here, they would be discussing topics related to each and every round, and they'll give you an idea of how to approach the questions on each and every round. So finally, they'll be answering some common questions followed by questions from the attendees. So I would request you all to feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box throughout the session, and they'll be answered at the end. So proceeding. Yeah, so let's start with our first agenda on what is FMCG. So let's start with Shruti, then Swapnil can take over. Over to you.
So, just to set the context right, I would like to start introducing you, all of you, with what FMCG truly means. So, FMCG are the companies which produce goods which are consumed on a very frequent, at a very high frequency. So, your daily so the stuff which you use on a daily basis, like very essentials, cleaning stuff, or your food industry, all of that lies in FMCG. So what benefit we get while we are working in FMCG is that we are creating impact on consumers' life on a daily basis. So we are working in a firm where strong supply chain, strong marketing, strong sales team, strong manufacturing, everything needs to be on point for a FMCG company to create their impact on consumers' lives. So it's quite interesting to work in this sector. And I will explain more about P&G specifically going forward.
I think Shruti has very well summarized what FMCG means. I'll just add upon the fact that FMCG companies work on scale. So, since it is fast, most of the products that they make have relatively, in comparison to other industries, say jewelry, where it is slow moving, where you have much higher profit margins. The profit margins here is less. So, and also since the scale is what we are talking upon, the economy of scale, what is really important is the end-to-end supply chain, wherein your logistics, the production, the raw material procurement. So each and everything matters, because at the end, when you're supplying it to your end consumer, it is those penny profits that you are adding up at a larger scale, which is giving you that profit for the business. So right from the very beginning, that is the raw material procurement to the production to the logistics of having trucking to the warehouse to its supply chain to the end marketing team, where they'll sell it to the retailers or the wholesalers. So those minute cost optimization is what really helps the company make its business and profit at the end of the day. So this is what FMCG is. Like when you go into any FMCG company, you will be put at a pivotal position at any one of those legs. You will be asked and given some problem statement regarding that. So I'll give you more examples down the line. But for now, we can move on.
Yeah, all right. So now let's move on to the next topic for the day. So now I would like to invite Shruti to share her selection process in the P&G domain.
Okay, so like we can move on to the next slide. Yeah. So I've already introduced myself. I will quickly start with why P&G and what P&G as a company stands for. So P&G, that is Procter and Gamble, is a 150-year-old firm which is currently India world's second largest FMCG company, which has purpose-led brands under its umbrella. You guys must be knowing about Gillette, Whisper, Pamper, Pantene, Head and Shoulder, Tide. Everything comes under P&G. Rhythm slideshow has been stopped.
Yeah, I'll just check.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So P&G is a company which focus majorly on its people and their values. So P&G doesn't hire for a particular role. P&G hire people for their values, and then they assign role depending upon a person's future path which they want to pick. So P&G is very flexible in terms of career. So I also joined as a product supply intern. I did my project in sustainability, but then when I joined P&G as a full-time career, I joined in IT department as a digital operation manager, where I'm currently leading projects which are designed for digitization and automation of the plant operation procedures. So P&G is quite flexible in that terms. P&G truly believes on growing people, growing the capability in people, and taking the business forward. That's why it's a 150-year-old company. So same thing goes for interns. So when interns join in P&G, they are given real problems to solve, which on which by working on which they can create true impact on business and can see the results on the way. So the projects are really meaningful, and they really add to your experience, learnings, and working in P&G also gives you a wide network of truly inspiring leaders, as P&G's team of leaders, as they hire leaders from day one. We can move on to next slide, or I can just share what kind of projects you guys can expect on working while you join P&G as an intern. So currently the focus of the company is over digitization, automation. So a lot of automation projects are going on in the company, where you work on automating warehousing processes or the manufacturing processes, or even you guys can work over e-commerce sales production prediction, and how to save efforts and how to build the capability in people. So there is a wide range of area where interns are given their projects. So now moving forward on the selection process, how it is for P&G specifically. So when P&G visits campus, there is an online application which is open to all. After you fill the online application, which is majorly basic details and your resume, you get the link for aptitude and personality test. So first there is a personality test, after which you clear it, you get the link to aptitude test. After clearing both the tests, you guys can wait for the shortlist, because shortlist is done based on your resume and on your assessment which you have given. And then there is a group and HR interview. We can deep dive on each of these section going forward. Rhythm, you can just change the slide to aptitude and personality test. Okay, so even before understanding each of those stages, I want you guys to focus on PVP of any of your target company, because it is very important to understand the key pillars on which the company is built. So for P&G, PVP, that is purpose value principle, really holds a lot of importance. So PVP plays quite a crucial role in selecting the candidate, because as I said earlier, P&G is a company of people and values. So it's very important to understand what they stand for, so that you can build your resume, your stories, your answers, and everything around the same theme, because it's very important to speak the language of the company to get into that company. So it's very important for you guys to go through PVP, which is there on P&G's website. So you can directly go and access it. It's a short one, but it's very important for all of you to understand the PVP and then frame your resume and your answers accordingly. Yeah, Rhythm, we can move on. So after you have submitted your resume and you have filled the online form, there is an aptitude and personality screening. Everybody gets the aptitude test link. Sorry, everybody gets the personality test link. And after you clear the personality test, you get the aptitude test. So key point which I would like to share here is that for both the tests, there will be a practice session, practice section before the actual test. So there is no issues, and you can directly check the company's career page to understand how the test will look like, so that you have prepared in advance, and you don't have any kind of a confusion while attempting the test. I have shared some insights from the test here. Aptitude test generally consist of three sections. Section one is majorly a basic mathematical equation kind of a section where you just need to complete a mathematical equation. It's a game of time, so you need to quickly solve all of these mathematical equations. They're very simple. Generally, the time given is 6 minutes, but there is no bar on the number of questions you attempt, so you can attempt as many as you can. Section 2 is a section where logical puzzles are given. So I have shared one of the example here in the slide where some shapes are given and you have to select the order in which these shapes are swapped to get the order which is there below. So such kind of logical simple puzzles are there. It's this is also the matter of time, how many puzzles you solve in 6 minutes. So this is our section 2. Section 3 consists of questions which are based on memory and speed. So there will be some kind of dots which will be displayed on your screen, and you just need to remember the position of that dot and then solve some logical puzzle and then mark the position of that dot. So it's such kind of questions you can expect in aptitude test. You can just directly go on career page, just emphasizing again, and see what kind of questions you will see in the test. So going forward on personality test portion. So as I have told multiple times, P&G is a company of personality and values. So it's very important that you go through PPP page. As during the selection procedure, P&G is looking for a person who matches their values and principles. They are not actually testing you over skills, because skills and your learning capabilities, your technical expertise, your way of approaching a problem statement, everything is tested during internship duration, and then a PPO is offered. So during the time when they are screening candidates for internship, they are not looking for a very technical expert person, but they are looking for a person who is really aligned with their values and who have the capability to learn and implement solutions on ground and tackle with people. So while you are going forward to attempt personality test, it is very important to go through PVP and then only answer questions so that you answer them correctly. So the questions are majorly based on situations and interest, like what holds more importance to you. Like there will be options and they will ask you which they will ask you to arrange it in order for yourself, and same questions might show up again and again in different formats, so that this is there so that to judge a candidate in a better way, that they are answering consistently and their answers are not getting changed while the questions language or framework is changed. So it's very important that you answer consistently and your answer does not change with the framework of the question. It should remain same. So your values, your morals should remain same even if the format of the question gets changed. So that's very important for the personality test. After you complete your personality test and aptitude test, there will be a shortlist which will come based on the score which you get in both of these and your resume. So here in the resume section, I have majorly captured P&G specific points. I know you guys must have been attending sessions on how to build a really effective resume. So I have not captured that part here. It's specifically for P&G. So the leaders or the managers who are going to go through your resume, it's very important that they really hook to your resume. And how you guys can make them hook to your resume is using the buzzwords which are really going on in the industry. So uh, the managers or the people or the leaders of P&G are really working on simplification projects, digitization projects, automation projects. So all these words, if you're using in your resume, will really seek their interest towards your resume, or they will just remember your resume and the points mentioned there. They might even get idea from your projects or your deliverables, whichever you have captured in your resume. So it's very important to use the buzzwords of which are currently there in the industry. So I've mentioned some of them here. Um, so as I told you earlier, P&G is looking for managers. So it's very important that you highlight your leadership, teamwork skills at the top in your resume. So your PORs and your professional experience, if any, which represent your teamwork or leadership skill, should be there at the top of your resume and should be highlighted quite well. After that, there is a section of extracurricular, which many of us don't pay focus on, but extracurricular can be a game changer for you if the person who is reading the resume have the same interest. So try to bring your personality in the extracurricular activities. Don't leave it simple. Now, this is the last part, which is the interview. So there are two rounds of interview. One is the group interview and one is the HR interview. So the most important thing before any interview for any company is to be calm and composed so that you can answer to your best. So it's very important that you are always calm and composed while you are going for an interview. Don't panic. Now going into the group interview part. So group interview for P&G last for around 60 minutes. And the format is that there will be 3 to 4 people in a group, but it's not a GD. It's kind of a group setting where every candidate gets equal chance to share their thoughts on a question which is put forward by the interviewer. So everybody gets equal chance. It's not a GD. There is no case study. It's just that you will be given questions and you everybody needs to answer as per their turn. So questions are majorly situation based, that if you guys are in such situation, how will you handle it? Have you ever been in such kind of a situation? How you handled it? So these kind of questions you can expect in your group interview. How to prepare for these questions is my next part. To prepare for these questions, you need to map your resume to the values or to the skills or to the proper principles which you have seen in PVP, so that you have already built stories in your brain about all the key um, values which you have studied earlier. So it's very important that you map your resume to the skills and values so that you can answer whenever asked. Um, be ready with real life examples. So there might be cases where questions can be asked to give example from your real life and not from your curricular activities which you have done. So be ready with that also. And another tip from my side will be make your answers simple and easy to understand for the leaders. Don't go into technicalities of your project because that might shift the focus from the skills or the values which you are bringing on the table to the technical aspect of the project. So it's better to explain them in simple and easy to understand format so that so that the focus remain on the important part of the project and nobody is distracted. Also, just a bonus tip that you should know the company's brand, all the brands, because they might ask you to name all the brands of the company. So it's important to know the company in and out. So prepare that. Also, after your interview is done, try to ask some question to the interviewer so that they also feel that you are really interested, and that really helps in leaving a mark on the interviewer, because there are multiple interviews which are scheduled on the same day. So how you guys are going to create an impact on the interviewer that's going to last till the end of the day. So it's very important to ask some or the other interesting question which is out of what they were expecting. So that can really help you leave a mark on the interviewer. The last round is HR interview, which is really unpredictable, to be honest. For me, it was around 20 to 30 minutes, and the questions were like, why you want to join P&G over other FMCGs, what kind of values or what kind of learnings you are seeking to get in P&G after you join, how your journey has been till now. So such kind of questions were asked to me. There are some sample HR questions which everybody knows. You just prepare your answers on that, and please be really strong on your resume. That is the only tip I have for HR interview. And just take your time before answering any question. Don't be in hurry, because HR interviews are not that technical. You just need to be calm, composed, and answer thoroughly whatever they are asking. So just answer to your best. So that's what I had for P&G. Swapnil will now take for ITC.
Thanks, Shruti. So before I begin with the selection process for ITC, I'll just quickly tell about myself a bit here. So not only did I intern with ITC back in 2023, but I came last year as well as a campus ambassador for ITC for its KITES program. Now, KITES is a flagship program for ITC where they hire around 45 interns from IITs all over India, and they get their projects in different divisions of ITC, and basis that around 18 to 20 people get the PPO, right? So around 45 to 50% ka conversion ratio hai. So now if I talk about the selection process, right? So even before my internship interview, I had a very technical background. I did my minors in computer science and data science. So both of my minors were towards technical. I even interned at a biotech startup where I only did analyzing of data. I had very nominal or nil managerial expertise. Through some POs, I had few, but it was not sufficient. I really wanted to go into a place where I can leverage my technical skills along with getting some managerial exposure. So I got, like I said at the beginning of this session, that I did my research of companies which cater to this, and FMCG was the best place where I felt this would be given to me and would be also tested. So what is it that ITC is actually looking for? So if you see, um, there are real life problem statements which will be given to you, and for that, since you will be working within the plant itself, there are other managers who are dealing with those sporadic problems or routine problems which they want you as a fresh mind. Sometimes what happens is when people are working in these plants, people are there for 10, 15, 20 years, and the kind of mindset that they have is very monotonic. So when they bring interns like us to the plant, they really are expecting something out of the blue, so that we can give a newer perspective to the problem. So A, being a problem solver, and never say no attitude, so that whatever problem comes in, you are always there to finding the root cause and giving your say on it, and having that flexibility in terms of role and location. I'll come to this point and I'll emphasize more on this in the later half. um, so what is ITC? So like PNG covers a wide range. ITC too does have its own divisions. It has its tobacco divisions where we make cigarettes. So the top left picture is a plant of ITC tobacco where you make cigarettes. Then comes foods. The top right is of Tede Mede that you might be eating. The bottom left is of paper. paper division of classmate and paper craft, and I did not have a personal care plant image, so I kept off. I that the bottom right is of yippee noodles. So that is how a plant looks like. And if you are an intern in ITC, you will be working at mostly at one of these plants, solving some quality related problems, some productivity related problems, say that machine efficiency has to be improved, or some kind of a cost optimization through improvement of efficiency of utilities like DGs and boilers and other how heat exchangers can be improved. So overall, there might be research. It is slightly less here at ITC. There is more emphasis on automation through which we can rationalize manpower and getting that efficiency improvement so that your raw material procurement cost or your end consumer product so value is improved through quality. So quality improvement projects are also given. Rhythm, we can move to the next slide now. Okay, so this is a roadmap or rather a snapshot of what the selection process for ITC looks like. So the very first thing they will ask you for is your resume, right? I was told back then during my resume making session that bad resumes get rejected in 5 seconds, whereas good resumes get looked at for not more than 25 seconds. So please make sure that you are not showcasing your or not you do not have major red flags on your resume when you're giving it to a company. So try to have different resumes for different industries. If you're applying for a tech based job, your resume should not be same as that of for an FMCG company. Later on you have a group discussion which I'll be talking in more depth. Then after you get selected from the group discussion, they'll give you a form where the form that is known as the mind over matter form, where they'll ask you certain challenges that you have faced in your life. It is a more personal form. They want to understand what you have gone through in your life, how you have battled through challenges through your willpower, and that is something which they might talk upon. They might hit on those sensitive spots during your HR interview. So we do not take it very casually. Ki, acha, this is something that they just want to know and they'll just are keeping it for their backend purpose. Nahi, it's not for that. It is actually something that they really are keen to know about you, because from that one page resume it is very difficult for them to also ask you questions. So this is like a second resume for them. Then comes the technical interview where you have two panelists. It's often offline. Post that you have the HR interview where a senior management would also be joining in. In case the senior management is free, it is offline. Otherwise, it will be online. Right. Rhythm, we can move to the next slide. Okay, so this was not my pre-internship resume. This was rather my post-internship resume. That is why you can see my internship details there as well. But does not matter. Basically, the crux here is your from top bottom. Initially, you need to have, since you're working in an FMCG company where it is expected from you that you will have both the technical and managerial exposure. So you definitely want to sell that first, right? Again, no exposure is or no expertise of yours is valuable to the company unless and until it has some correspondence to the financial impact on the business. And later on, since you are working on a large scale company, any large scale company values scalability as well as the sustainability of your work. Your work is short lived for the company, it is of no value to them. Later on, if you look into, this is my pre-internship, my pre-third year internship intern. So basically here I here they also know that you will not have a lot of corporate exposure. So here you have to rather focus on learning, understanding how corporates work, how you can do basic data handling and representation through Excel and PPT. That is what it's required, nothing more and nothing less. Then comes PORs. PORs is a good way of you to sell your stakeholder engagement skills. and what kind of different projects, diverse projects you have worked through in the institute life, apart from going to the obviously the routine courses, attending routine courses. Apart from that, what have you done that strikes your interests? What kind of events? And as well as very important here, since most of ITC roles will be such that you will be asked to lead a unionized cadre. So there will be people who would be of the age of 30, 40, 50 in numbers of 10, 15, 20. So it is very important that your team handling and mentoring skills are well above par. Coming down to the technical projects, here since it's technical project, this is also something which they will look into. They'll only look at those bold points where they will see if it is more industry oriented. Try to keep it less research heavy. Again, I'm saying that ITC does have its research department, but when they are coming to IITs, they are rather looking for problem solvers, industry oriented problem solving people. Then comes the academic conferences and वो सब ठीक है. Majorly the extracurricular activities and any academic accolades if you have, those are simply brownie points, right? And however, do not take them lightly. Like Shruti also explained, if that's something that really strikes with them, generally does it with the senior management, um, because they will not grill you to the level that the other people will. They will rather focus on these and try to get deep into it, and hence you can drive your interview through this, through something which you already know. So this is something which is on where the ball is in your court and you can play it how you want. So I think this is also to be focused very well, like the other sections. Okay, Rhythm, you can move to the next slide now. Okay, how to prepare. Rhythm, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so I'll give you an overview, though I've already given you an overview. You have a group discussion basis which then shortlisted students go to the final day of the non-tech interviews, where you have the technical interview, where the ITC's technical interviews are very technical and core. I still remember people crying about, sir, why are they asking us on pumps and centrifugal pumps? What are the different kinds of centrifugal pumps? I I cannot emphasize enough that that is what the ITC wants from us. I know back in institute that a lot of our courses are based on research, are more research oriented. Even the problems that we get in NSEM and MedSem paper were also very research oriented. But when you come and work in an industry, in a corporate, it is something, the the standards are very different. Here you have to more focus on how do you design a heat exchanger, how do you, what kind of technical details will you go into it, what will be the pipe size, line diameter. So they will be very interested in the technical aspects of what you have learned in your mechanical or in your electrical or in your chemical branch. As simple as that. And please do not be under the assumption that okay, you have written this project and this internship in your resume, so you will get solely grilled on that. You will definitely get grilled on that, but you can definitely expect certain questions out of the box just to see how you would react in this pressurized environment. So my only advice here is just not to fear. I made 10 number of mistakes in my interview experience, but I learned a lot from it.
There is some error from your side, Swapnil. Just a second, everyone. I'll connect with you.
I'm so sorry for the interruption in the middle. I'll just start from the point where I left. So, the point I was trying to make was that during the technical interviews, you might get grilled on certain stuff which you might not be knowing, and hence that's absolutely fine. I made 10 number of mistakes in that interview, but I'm still here, so you don't need to worry so much about those nitty-gritties. Just be confident about the stuff you know, and in case you are unsure about something, it is not a bad idea to just let them know that you're not aware about it. But being overconfident and saying something wrong is something which they are not really into, because they are at a very higher level and they would not like that kind of overconfidence at this stage from you. They would not be expecting that. So I think we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so yeah, group discussion. So group discussion is something which is taken very, very seriously at ITC. There are reasons why. So during my time and even last year also, when I had come, I had made groups of around 8 to 10 people, and roughly 0, 1, 2 people get shortlisted for the technical interview round, and we make sure that for the technical interview, not more than the first round technical interview, not more than 18 or 20 students get through, because it becomes difficult for them to also get interviewed at the same time on the same day. So the GDs are roughly 20 to 25 minutes long, and there will be two panelists. It was conducted online for me, but last year it was conducted offline. That was in the LTs. So I think um, what they are really judging you on here are how confident you are in what you are believing. So I'll just give you a crux of what kind of a problem statement are they going to give you. So they'll basically give you a situation stating that, hey, you have these 5 people who, and they'll give a description of all the 5 people, and basis that you have to select whom you want to give an accommodation. You can give accommodation to only one person, and there are 5 people. One is very senior, one is newly joined, but he's recently married. Some kind of story they'll cook up in front of you, and there are 5 different options from whom you have to choose, and you have to convince, and the entire group is assigned to the fact that you have to conclude, and you need to let them know what is the end consensus. Okay, generally there is no right answer to such GDs. Most of the time what they are trying to look into this is how confident are you in what you have understood and what you are selling, right? It is just a very, it's more of a sales perspective, that you can convince others to trust your opinion. At the same time, how good of a listener you are, and how well are you able to value their opinion, and how well can you communicate with the people that are around you. So there are certain tricks that helped me, and hence I feel they can benefit you as well. So you try to start the GD, or if not, like I was not able to do it, so at least be one of the first people to speak first, and then also being able to conclude and make the entire group come down to a consensus is extremely critical. So if you can be that guy, that, oh hey, this is the person who was able to start, initiate, conclude, that is one tick mark for you against your name. Next, try to lay down your justifications very logically. When the problem statement is given in front of you, please have a pen paper with you, note down critical aspects, also note down what other people are saying. Acha, just because Shruti has said one thing, I won't be able to say the other thing. Nahi. If that is something, if I really feel that if she has made a valid point, I will acknowledge the same and will move on to some other point, or I will have a counter fact to that. I'll not just speak for the sake of blabbering. That definitely has a negative impact. Rhythm, we can move to the next slide. So try to understand others' point of view. In case you agree, no point in debating, just move on. In most of the GDs, what I have seen, I have been in many GDs, and there are like 90% of the times when everyone is shouting, everyone is speaking, and then there's suddenly a 2 seconds of silence. I see most of no one takes that opportunity. So you can really play smart here, take that opportunity and bring out your point in a bolder manner. Also, don't try not to pinpoint and blame anyone directly. Don't be very over aggressive. Do not make that mistake of repeating the same point again and again. Try to come up with some newer points, if not some counterfacts against the points people have made previously. So this is a very, I think this should really help you during your practice mock GDs. You should definitely do those with your friends, since it will ultimately help you improve in the long term as well, if not for ITC GDs. Rhythm, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so coming down to the final stage of ITC shortlisting is the technical interview. Again, the duration is not more than 15 to 30 minutes, since they have 18 to 20, 30 students, 18 to 25 students that they have to cover. So 15 to 30 minutes is what it goes. Again, initial questions, though, be in mind that this is a technical interview, but they will still ask you some HR level of questions like self introduction, the reason for choosing IIT, your branch, your achievements, and what were your achievements? What is your motivation for joining to ITC? What is your 5 year goal? What is your 10 year goal? What recent setbacks have you come across and how have you dealt with them? Please do not think that these questions have a very straightforward answer. They are really the main reason why they are asking you these questions is because they are going to note these stuff down and pass it to the next panel down, which if you get selected, they are going to again evaluate these answers. So please make sure, since you have a HR interview, they are like making that stage there for you to make mistakes. Please make sure that you answer these questions with a lot of thought and with a good backup. Not please do not say stuff like I have chosen this branch because mera rank aisa tha. Please don't. Even if that's the right answer, please make a good logical reasoning behind why you chose that engineering branch. Then having a technical focus is definitely there. In the interview, you will be asked about your favorite course. And I told thermodynamics, and I was grilled to the point that I stopped liking that course after that interview. It is very important that you are very well thorough with your technical courses, at least 1 or 2 courses. Just be very well prepared, just revise, go through some crash courses. It will hardly take you 1 hour to 2 hours to just revise everything, because most of the stuff will be at your tips. Okay, talking about tips, I'll just give you certain things not to say, because I've seen people getting their candidature cancelled. Being well groomed is something that I want to emphasize here, because last year we had a student who got selected, but he came in a chappal, so he had to be removed from the selection procedure. We tried a lot to convince the senior management that no, the student is very well, but no, they did not listen. So you have to understand, people who come uh, are people having 10 plus years of experience. Some might even have a 30 year of experience working with ITC. ऐसा नहीं कि it is staggered over different companies. People have worked in ITC for 30 plus years. So it is very important that you're well groomed in front of them. Please take your time in doing so. Please look confident and interested in ITC when you're coming for the offline interviews. Know your projects and internships well, because you will be asked to explain them clearly. Please understand, people will be sitting in front of you. They have zero idea about your project, zero idea about your internships. If you start using unnecessary jargons, they will simply get distracted. They'll look uninterested. They will think that you also do not know anything. So you're just blabbering unnecessary jargons. Explain them clearly. They'll appreciate you much more than if you would have done otherwise. Right. Again, a mistake which I had done was to bring up a work-life balance at ITC. That is not, I wouldn't say it is taken negatively, but that is taken something which is noted against a candidature, because ITC works or makes you work on Saturdays as well. Sometimes even in weekdays you have to work for more than 12 to 13 hours. So that work life balance in the initial stage, obviously as you rise up the ladder and become at a HOD level, you have much more of that. But in the initial years where you have to pick up those and you have to come at par with them, the work life balance is generally not there. And hence try to avoid that question and be very politically correct if asked. Coming down, I'll talk more about the HR interview now. So if you just give you a stats about my time, and I think this is the ratio which was there last year as well. 18 people gave the technical interview, 8 went to the next round of the HR interview. Finally, 4 got selected. So panel, if you look, the panel will always be an IITB alumnus. Last year, due to some reason, he was unavailable, so some other IIT Madras alumnus came. But most of the time, it will be an IITB alumnus and some HR recruiter, senior management recruiter, who has work experience of 7+ years. The interview is generally very calm and friendly. They'll ask you both technical and HR questions. Uh, I was asked how I used to prepare for my NSEMs, so it was very calm and friendly. Tech-oriented resume. Maybe they'll ask you why is it that you are preferring ITC? What is it that you have in your resume that we as ITC can leverage you in better? Um, Another a key question here comes the mind over matter form that I had spoken about 15 minutes earlier. Is how can you give us an example of how you can overcome a tough challenge through willpower, some recent setbacks? So just make sure you have something in your mind. Then I think there is this 64 HR questions booklet which got circulated and it's very still famous. We still go through them for our interviews. It not only has the questions, but when you go through it, you will realize that HR questions are very answerable. You just need to know what to speak and what not to speak. So there are red and green flags in HR questions, and whereas in technical, if you know, you know; if you don't know, you don't know. Whereas HR questions, if you just know, or any question that comes in, if you know why are they asking this question, what can be the wrong answer for it, you can avert that and give a better answer for them. So just do definitely go through them once. So I think that is pretty much about it. It is not a very difficult interview to crack, but yeah, there are certain things which you need to focus on, some minor things you need to focus on. If you do those things, if you do your research well, if you make those preparations correctly, I think you can easily crack the interview. I've seen people cracking them very confidently and easily. So I think all the very best to you guys. I think that's pretty much about it from my end. I think we can now, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat box, but in case anyone has any, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much to both of you for the insights. Now we'll move on to the Q&A session. Everybody can unmute themselves. So I request anyone who has some question, they can directly unmute themselves and ask. Otherwise, we also have a Q&A box. You can put in your questions over there. Yeah, so there is this question in the Q&A box. I have heard companies generally come with the mindset of PPO. So do they consider dual degree students or they are not considered?
I think P&G does take dual students. I'm not sure. I think Shruti can answer that
I
better.
was about to answer. P&G do consider dual degree students. They are open-minded in this case. So yeah, P&G comes with a mindset of PPO because P&G believes in long-term career building. So it's fine even if you are a dual degree student. There are chances of you getting into P&G.
Uh, as for ITC, so if I give you an example, back in 2021, they used to hire or they used to make people sit for uh, the dual degree students. But I think now it has come to the level that since the growth in ITC has been such that there is the vacancy at the lower level is so high that people need to replenish them after every year. So that is one of the reasons why I think last year also they did not allow any dual degree students to sit. However, it is very year to year dependent. It depends upon how much people have left that year, what kind of mindset are they coming with this year. So the management of HR as well changes. So that's a question which is difficult to answer from now, but definitely ITC has given chances to dual degree students wherein they have also given them a PPO, and they have asked them to come back 2 years back and join them, and they're still working with them. So there are a number of examples with ITC as well.
Yeah, all right. There's another question. What were the projects you worked on during internship?
So I have covered this earlier also. So my project during my internship was on sustainability. So I was asked to design the complete sustainability roadmap, keeping in mind company's ambition 2040-150 for a greenfield project that was there was a new plant which was coming up. The product was not new, but there was a new plant which was getting set up for the first time in India. So they wanted me to design the end-to-end sustainability roadmap for the same, how we are going to achieve our goals for water saving, energy saving, greenhouse gas emissions, and for the waste management, how we can save money, make money, and how we can do justice with our ambitions as well. So my project was entirely based on this.
So I had a more tech-based intern back in 2023 because I was made to work on OT-IT integration. So Pune, one of our plants in Pune, has is very data mature. So at the machine level, where you have all the data integrated, we had to bring it to a cloud server where then there would be a development of dashboards for the managers at a higher level who can visualize their KPIs and make decisions. So and also using HRMS data and different so HRMS data is basically the HR data of which employee you have mapped to which machine. So basis that what kind of model uh, can be set up for auto allocation. So basically the project was completely on a digitization front where the scalability came in or kicked in when it was realized that the same model can be put into other newer factories that we have. Since working in a brownfield plant, it's very difficult to set up all of these things in a proper manner without any hindrances to the production. So from the greenfield perspective, from the future plants, it was made sure that those OT to IT level integrations with the necessary compliances were met during the internship. So that was what my project was. So it was more on a digitization front.
All right. The next question is that at what extent is coding experience practice required, or if a person who doesn't know coding can also get selected?
So during my time, P&G came for two roles. One was for product supply, and the other one was for IT. For IT, they do expect that you guys have certain level of coding knowledge, but it's not very extensively tested. For PS role, there is no such expectation that you guys should have any kind of coding or software related technical background. So that's not expected for a PS role.
And ITC expertise. I think the only expertise that you require in ITC is of Excel and PPT. If you are very well at it, I think you can solve most of your problems. I hardly see anyone code even in Python here. Everything you can do with, I think there are power apps in Microsoft where people are able to do much more and leverage stuff like Power BI and Power Automate. So I think that is most of the stuff which our industry is going towards. I think it's very coding experience is very minimal at ITC because we have our leg of coders where which is known as the I3L, which is ITC Infotech, which does all of these recruitments. So ITC is majorly looking for techno managers who can solve floor problems.
All right. So the next question is that what role does CPI plays in shortlisting for FMCG companies?
Can you come again with them? What role does?
CPI plays in shortlisting.
So, from my POV, CPI do play an important role in P&G. It's not a very hardcore rule, but it does have an impact on the selection team. But if your resume has some other extraordinary section or some other projects or PORs through which you can compensate or explain the reason behind a low CPI, then there are chances. But I won't lie, CPI does play a role. You don't need to be a very, very high CPI person, but yeah, CPI does play a role for top FMCGs like P&G.
Um, as far as ITC, it is very important that you have a decent CPI, and that is because majorly that is the first thing that pops up in your resume. That is something which their eyes, since it's a number and since they are at a very higher level, that is they have that inherent nature of looking at numbers and judging people on basis that. But like Shruti also explained, any low resume can be very well compensated with very good projects and very good um reasoning behind why you have this low CPI. So if you did not get this CPI, you must have done something else. That is the reasoning that you can give at the interview level. However, it is never going to hurt you to maintain a good CPI, a good decent CPI, and at the same time have a lot of projects back at it. But make sure that whenever you're asked, you might be even asked, hey, your CPI is lower in comparison to others. Do not think that they are trying to reject you. They're just trying to understand from you what is it that you did at the other times when you did not maybe study for the course or something along those lines, or maybe the course did not interest you. You did something out of the interest in your extracurricular, so you can definitely speak along those lines. So it is definitely important, but it is not something which it's a deal breaker for them.
Okay, so this is a follow-up question. If not coding, then which technical skills do you think were important and got you in?
So
Hmm.
I think,
Okay. Yeah, Swapnil, go
so
ahead.
I think majorly in if you look into technical technicalities, right? I think a lot of the things you can, if you just know how to use Excel. I think I've not seen any person. So we have basically four departments in our plant. We have the production, the operations team, we have the engineering team who looks after utilities, and an HR department and a commercial department. All these four departments do not use anything apart from Excel and PPT. I have never seen using them. People have gone to such great extent and make so beautiful charts, so beautiful automated macros through Excel, leveraging pivot tables to get insightful data. So I really do not see, if you are very well advanced with Microsoft Excel and obviously representing the same data in PPT, I think you are very well good to go. I think at least for ITC, I can tell you that you do not need any other technical. In case you require any technical expertise, they will give you sufficient time and even the leeway that hey, okay, you did not learn this during your time, hence hey, take this time for learning that. So I think these two skills are very much important. They will not leave you on that because they feel that this is very basic, and it is actually very basic. It will not take you much long to learn these two stuff, but I think any add-on is just an add-on for them.
For P&G's product supplier role, of course, they are not looking for a technical master. They are looking for smart people who can solve problems in hand on shop floor. So they are not looking for a particular technical skill which you guys should have. It's more about mindset. So what your resume should have is the leadership skill, problem solving skills. It can be a really simple people problem which you have solved in your PO. It can be a simple simplification which you could have done for your club or for your any project group or for any kind of involvement in any kind of activity which you were there. So they are looking for the mindset and not for a particular technical skill. But as Swapnil has told, in PNG also there is a lot of focus on Power BI, Power App, simple applications which can be used and reapplied. So if you have that in your resume, that's a bonus point. But they are not looking for a particular technical skill for a product supply role. But if you are going for an IT role, of course, that is expected out of you.
Okay, so the next question is to Swapnaneel, that how did he realize to switch going for FMCG over tech when he was already doing things in tech? What were the main reasons?
I'm glad someone asked this question, so I can look back at my time back in 2023. So, I think one of the major reasons why I wanted to make a move was I think there was this time where everyone wanted to move to tech. Every other person wanted to be in the computer science branch, and everyone was fighting over the same role, the same stuff. I wanted to do something different. I also went along with the crowd and did an intern at a biotech startup where I realized where I was coding from morning to evening, morning to evening. I would come to the office, again start coding. I did not have a lot of interaction. It's only when I realized that I also want to speak to people. I want to engage with them. I want to learn with them. I want to grow faster. When you work isolated, there are certain perks, but those kind of perks did not outweigh the fact that the knowledge that I would have gained if I worked with a larger team, especially at a team which have much more technical expertise and acumen than I have. So I think that is when I realized that okay, technical is something. Obviously, since I have a technical background, I cannot leave completely. But managerial exposure and being able to lead a team and being able to uh, value or the entire segment of that chain. In case of FMCG, like I said, since you are impacting a real life problem statement, um, and even in an internship as well, when you come look into P&G interns and ITC interns, any FMCG internships, the projects that you're given is such that you can make a lot of difference. If a project goes well, it can make lakhs and crores of savings for the company. Whereas in case of other IT companies, the kind of impact or financial impact that you can make for the company is very nominal. And hence I realized that very soon. At least I realized it before the internship season, and that is when I realized I wanted to make that switch and get into that segment where I can make much more impact and I can learn on more and learn through more projects, because right now my role is of looking after capex projects. So even here I am able to look after different projects, learning some from this, learning some from that project. So I think that is something which I had envisaged back then, and that is why I decided to make that thought of changing the domain.
All right. So the next question is, what things do they focus on in resume, and what are the type of projects that can give you an edge over other candidates?
Rhythm, can you come again?
Yeah, sure. What things do they focus on in resume, and what are the type of projects that can give you an edge over other candidates?
I think, to be honest, I think this is, though I'll definitely answer this, but do not think it from the perspective that you need to do certain kind of projects to look good for certain companies. Rather, since you have already completed your second year, you rather need to analyze what all projects you have done and what and how it can impact this company since they are working on so and so. So it is not about doing a particular project and writing it on the resume for the sake of making it look good. Rather, understanding, okay, I have say 7 projects. I do not have the space for writing 7 projects on my resume. I can accommodate only 2 of them. Which 2 of them would benefit me and would make me look good in front of them? It's all about that. Now coming to that, how do you do that? Okay, for that, see, again, you must have gotten that trend or understanding that most of the projects that you're getting and the kind of work that we do at ITC is about automation. It's about cutting the underlying cost of say raw material procurement that would even require your vendor negotiation skills, that might even require your engagement with multiple stakeholders, getting a new vendor on board, and end-to-end supply chain. So in case you might see, okay, if I do this kind of a trucking arrangement, I will save 0.25 paise per trip. So that 0.25 paise per trip also at a large scale is cost. So cost optimization. A lot of people in interviews have said, "Ki, ma'am, I want to work on cost optimization." How do you do that? Blank. You have to really understand when you mean by cost optimization, when you mean by cost reduction. Just don't say it for the making of, don't say it for the sake of making it sound cool and in front of some management, because have done it for their companies. They have built real businesses. Most probably the person who comes in your final round will be a CEO of a business head. So you have to be very, very specific. Okay, I have done this project where I have done this data analyzing. I was able to come down to some hypothesis. I was able to do experiments like these. In case I go to your role where there's a process line, in the process line, I look into certain parameters. I'll be able to better optimize the parameters to A, improve your quality, B, reduce any bottlenecks, if any. Those kind of the statements you have to make in front of them through your projects, right? So I think I've tried to answer this question more in a politically correct manner. So yeah.
I completely resonate with whatever Swapnil said. Just adding on top of that, the projects which you have done under some professor or which were part of some institute bodies, they are of more weightage as compared to the self project. So try to be involved in the projects which maybe your professors are offering or maybe some institute bodies conducting. So that is of a more importance as compared to your self project, because it is verified. And the other thing I would like to add on is that focus on structuring your project into your resume. So that's what I've said earlier also. Your project might be very simple if we see from technical front, but it can be delivering a huge impact. It can be a cost impact. It can be a effort or time saving impact. So try to structure your projects, whether it's a small project, whether it's a quite impactful big project, structure it properly. It's possible that you have done a very great project, but your pointers which you have put in your resume are not to that level where a company can see value in that project. So it's very important to structure your projects properly according to the company's PVP for your target company. So it's very important how you structure your projects.
All right. So the next question is, what role does my engineering branch play in FMCG?
Is it, no, wait, I just need to understand the question a better. Engineering branch is in mechanical, electricals, chemical to FMCG, or so the FMCG plants also have an engineering branch.
No, no,
So,
the engineering branches, like I'm currently studying, and that's what I mean.
okay. So okay, the branch really does not matter, to be honest, because I'll give you a reason why. So, since I am a project manager, I need to look over projects. Now, the projects do not come to me seeing that I am from a mechanical background. I am given projects of electrical. I'm given projects of making a greenfield building, which is civil. I'm also given projects where I need to find out what is the right chemical composition of a glue in order to ensure that the packaging is done correctly. So you see, though I'm from mechanical, I'm given all kind of projects ranging from the four that I just stated. So do you get time, and do you get what do you say, the leeway of not knowing something? Yes, definitely. No one is going to pull up a gun in front of you if in case you do not know something which is not from your department. But what they want and what they expect from IITians is not expertise and gyan nahi. They are not expecting that. They are rather expecting that you guys are fast learners, and within substantial time of 1 or 2 days you can quickly pick up something like what a DG is, what is UPS, and how do you structure a power transmission cable from one end to other. So you see, I'm from a mechanical background, but all of these things, effectively, when you set up a plant and you are there as a project engineer, you need to understand, because any project will have a mechanical aspect, will have a civil aspect, and will have an electrical aspect. So all of these three things you must be very well aware of. You will have resources within the factory who will guide you, but the end responsibility will be yours, so hence you cannot completely neglect them.
Same is for P&G. So P&G in general is not hiring for a specific role. You might join in product supply, you might be part of engineering team, you might be part of operations team, you might be part of MPD team that focus on packaging and etc. I am part of IT team, you can be part of sales team, you can be part of e-commerce team, you can be part of marketing team. So it's not like that you are being picked for a particular role. Specifically talking about manufacturing plants, there are technicians who are working for around 30, 40 years in the same plant on the same machines. So they have more. So they have quite a capability to understand the technical aspects of the machine. So they are not looking for a person who is very sound with mechanical engineering or chemical engineering or electrical engineering specifically, because your roles are going to evolve over the time in the company. So what they're looking for is the problem solving mind and how you are able to learn over the time. So it's not like your engineering skills are going to go in vain. It's not like that, because you are going to solve problems related to manufacturing, which ultimately revolves around engineering. But it's not like you need to be very well versed on each of your topics which you have learned in your classes and they're going to question you on that. It's not like that. Everything is present online. It's just that you should have that mindset to solve problems in time with proper costing, with keeping everything in mind and not just engineering aspects, because this is a large scale organization. So even your minor change can impact the whole sales and business and the product quality. So it's not only about engineering, it's about looking at the picture on a larger landscape so that you solve problem at core.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll wait for a minute or two. If you have some more questions, you can add them in the Q&A box, or you can directly unmute yourself as well. Okay, so that was a really amazing and insightful session. I would like to thank both of you. If you have some closing remarks, you can give.
I would just like to say all the best to everyone who is there in the meet till now. Thanks for listening us. Thanks for taking all the gyan which we have given in this session. I know you guys are best. Just be calm, composed. You are going to ace it. This is just a phase. You are going to do well in life, and this internship season I know might be taking toll over your mind, but that's okay. Just be focused, be calm, be composed. Feel free to ping me over LinkedIn whenever you feel like. If you have any kind of questions, queries, or any chit chat, just feel free to drop me a message there. Looking forward to connect with you all in future.
Thanks, Rhythm, for organizing and coordinating it very well. It went rather very smooth. Just some final closing remarks from my end for everyone here. So, thanks to everyone for tolerating us for the past 1.5 hours. I think you guys have been good audiences. The kind of questions also asked proved that you guys were definitely listening to us. I think it's just one thing I wanted to add to our entire session was like, since Shruti already mentioned it, that this internship season will be ups and downs. And I think one kind of mistake that I made during my time was focusing on a wide variety of companies with different values, with different things to offer to us. And when you do that, right, what happens is it rather distracts you from preparing well to for your target company slash target industry. So when you say, for example, I wanted to always go to a company like P&G, ITC, HUL, and at the end I am sitting for companies like Morgan Stanley, I'm not well prepared. However, since I've sat for it, I have a baseline inherent expectation that something good might come up on the blog. And नहीं होता है. Most of the times you might get a rejection and it sets you down. However, when you think, you never wanted to sit for Morgan Stanley, you always wanted to sit for an FMCG company. So please please sit down and understand what kind of companies come in, channelize your efforts accordingly, basis your interest, basis what you want to see yourself in the next 3 5 years. When we ask you questions like, where do you see in yourself in 5 years, it is just not a routine question. It is actually, you need to introspect that, understand how important that is. And it is those minor things which will help you or help your internship season go very peacefully. And obviously it will be ups and downs, but it's something which me right now, back then I am still laughing at how stressful I was. So it's again something that you will definitely be it will be like a memory after the time passes by, and I'm definitely sure that you guys will do extremely great. So all the very best. In case you have any other questions, you can definitely I think Rhythm has my number, you can share it with the participants. You can definitely just drop a message on my WhatsApp in case you want any other resource or any other question that you were not able to ask during the session, and I'll definitely cater to them.
Okay, thank you everyone for being such an amazing audience. With this, we'll wrap up this session. Stay tuned for further sessions in the Ask the Alum. And yeah, see you. Cheers.
Okay, bye guys.